place within the Arabian Sea lies an island filled with strange kinds of life and is one amongst the strangest looking places on Earth. The island is little and has been populated by a nation whose genetic chain is just found on this strange island. Socotra Island is one amongst the foremost beautiful and unspoiled islands within the world. This land is well known for its dragon blood trees and its surreal landscapes filled with towering sand dunes and deep canyons, making it one amongst the foremost beautiful UNESCO sites within the world. Because of its unusual aspects, Socotra has been designated as a UNESCO World Heritage Site so as to shield the many species endemic to the island and to make sure that it stays protected. Socotra Island is filled with flora and fauna that don't exist anywhere else within the world, many of which look awfully funky. The foremost iconic of those is the dragon's blood tree. With its upward-facing needles, veiny branches, and extreme symmetry, this tree is sometimes the primary thing you see looking into this mysterious island. While not every plant and animal is as nice looking because the dragon's blood tree, this is often an honest example of the oddity that you'll get into on this island. All kinds of weird creatures. All 29 native species of reptiles across the island are endemic, including the Chameleomonychus. There also are 6 endemic bird species, together with 1 or 2 of spiders and a number of other crabs. The sole mammals native to the island are bats. You almost certainly get the purpose by now. There are lots of things that grow and live here that you just aren't find anywhere else within the world. While there are some species introduced over the years by humans, this UNESCO World Heritage Site is filled with weird creatures. Elephant leg trees. The Magnolia cuneata is another species endemic to Socotra and is definitely recognizable due to its elephant leg trunks. The tree is one among the funkiest species on the island and may grow anywhere on the island that stays dry. In some areas, there are just the occasional isolated trees, but in others, there are nearly forests of the items within the desert regions of the island. This was one among the primary strange species that tipped people off to the very fact that this island was unlike anywhere else within the world. Creepy white sands. The many beaches across the island shores have unique white sands that look as alien because the remainder of the island. The nice and cozy temperatures and exquisite sands would naturally make the island a fine-looking place for a beach vacation. Of course, that's not necessarily how things have puzzled out, but the beaches definitely show how strange and exquisite this island are often. The island is usually bordered by these beaches and a few mountainous cliffs, floating trees. Beyond the weird and unique types of life across the island, there are lots of strange sights. Images like this floating tree hint that the island may be a great location for hiking and climbing. You're guaranteed to find all types of weird things across the mountainous regions of the island. The isolation of the island has resulted in some pretty extreme evolutions within the plants and animals, leading to a weird, alien-looking landscape. Isolated island. Socotra is one in all 4 islands within the archipelago, but is out and away the biggest and one in all the sole inhabited. The island is merely about 80 by 30 miles large but is the most alien-looking place on Earth. This isolated island is technically a part of Yemen, but is closer to the coast of Somalia. There are lots of beaches together with an outsized desert and a mountainous area in addition. Mysterious mists. This small island holds an honest amount of geographic diversity. While the rainfall is typically mild, the island gets more rain during monsoon season and around the coastal mountains, resulting in some serious fog across the coasts. The temperatures across Socotra stay fairly steady throughout the year, going from fairly mild, around 70 degrees, to hot, around 95 degrees. No matter what time of year you discover yourself on the island, likelihood is that you'll see these mysterious mists off the shore. Alien Garden of Eden. The so-called Galapagos of the Indian Ocean has over 300 species of plants that are only found on Socotra Island. In line with National Geographic, over 90% of the reptiles and mollusks are endemic also. The famous dragon's blood tree is the most recognizable species on the island and is claimed to possess grown from the spot where 2 brothers fought to the death. A number of them are thousands of years old at this time. Mountains of alien trees. Because of the rare species everywhere the island, Socotra became a UNESCO World Heritage Site. While the mountains and plains are affected by these trees, it's been very difficult to induce new ones to grow. Most of the dragon's blood trees across the island are there for hundreds, if not thousands of years. Starlight over the beaches. The island is basically tropical with a major amount of desert climate, but after all, there are beaches all around. There aren't too many of us living on the island, so large parts of it are fairly isolated. There are multiple white sand beaches to venture to across the island and, being to this point far from mainland Yemen with just some small towns totally on the north of the island, Socotra has a number of the simplest stargazing within the world. The starling of Socotra. Around 1/4 of the species on the island are endemic to Socotra, meaning they're only found on this small island and nowhere else within the world. Due to how sparse the human population is on the island and therefore the lack of resource mining, most of those species do quite well, if not thriving. Cave views. Across the mountains within the center of Socotra, there are many small caves full of stalactites and stalagmites there are a lot of unexplored nooks and crannies that make the full place just a bit creepy. These vantage points are home to a range of native species but you never quite know exactly who, or what, may be looking down from them. Beautiful beaches. The white sand beaches open up to the gorgeous Arabian Sea and Guardafui Channel. Not only are the beaches warm enough to enjoy, but from just off the shore, you'll be able to see fishing boats surround several of the shore towns. On clear days, you'll be able to see across to a number of the opposite islands within the archipelago. There also are great views over the beaches from the nearby cliffs and mountains, looking on where you're on the island. Eerie mountain ranges. This strange, beautiful island is really unlike anywhere else within the world. With expansive, eerie mountain ranges, harsh deserts filled with scary lizards and spiders, and delightful white sand beaches, there's plenty to work out. This UNESCO World Heritage Site is certainly far less known than, say, the Galapagos, but certainly should be one among the foremost respected places on Earth.